I recently made a nonsensical reasons Berserk is bad video, as an amazing attempt at humor. Some reacted poorly. I'll start off by saying that couldn't be further from the truth, and how I feel about this work of art. There will be no spoilers in this video whatsoever. In fact, I'm barely going to say anything about the story. This is purely for people who are either on the fence about it, or have never even heard of it. If you have read it, I'd say this video won't really do much for you, so you can get up on out of here. Okay, now that they're gone, here are 11 more reasons why Berserk is bad. Just kidding. Here we go. Many people find their main squeeze in terms of fandoms pretty early on in their lives. My friends in elementary school were all over Naruto, or Bleach, or One Piece, or some other non-anime fandoms I'd never have any interest in anyway. And then there I was. I liked cartoons, I liked games, that was about it. Nothing of any real depth or meaning. I had no idea things of actual substance even existed until one fateful day. I was in a Blockbuster, something that existed some millennia ago, and I saw a video box with a picture of a mean-looking dude on it, what I thought was a dead person in his arms. At the time, anime didn't really mean anything to me, so I had no idea what the heck I was seeing. Why on earth would there be a cartoon drawing of such a thing? It looked morbid, it looked scary, and it looked daunting. After meeting the eyes, or eye, of this man on the cover, while stunned for a second, I turned away as quickly as I could. I couldn't even recall the name that was on the box. What I wouldn't realize until a literal decade later was that was my first exposure to the reason I'm making this video today. My forever main squeeze, Berserk. There are other videos out there that perhaps go into more depth and reasoning as to why one should read, or actually more specifically watch, Berserk, but I feel this will be the most accurate representation out there. Especially since, while the anime is a quality work in its own right, it's really the manga that speaks. Now, I hate reading. It's a shame, but I really do. So trust me when I say that the idea of reading a manga compared to something animated really rang discordant in my ears. I would have probably watched the anime instead, honestly, if I'd remembered that that's what I saw all those years ago. But both fortunately and unfortunately, I simply came across the manga by chance instead. I was on my computer, just looking for figures to reference while drawing. I wanted a dark, sword-wielding character, for whatever reason. I was edgy in that way. I scrolled a bit through Google Images, and something amazing happened. The memory came rushing back to me. This little icon of a guy on my screen had one eye shut, just like that nightmarish man that had haunted my cartoon-filled memory for years did. I felt such an odd connection to the idea of this brooding figure at this point, so I became all the more interested. Fate had placed him in my life once more. I followed the link and found my way to the first chapter. Despite my disdain for reading, I came at this man's story with full force. And man, I never regretted it. Guts was his name, and he was about to become my role model. My memory served me well, at first. Berserk was clearly the gore fest, sex fest, general awful fest I had expected. Kind of. What I soon realized was that those themes mentioned were simply surface level. In actuality, even in the beginning, Berserk was so much more. Set in an alternate medieval world, plagued with demonic figures and rich characters, Berserk shines best in its own darkness. Every page, while dark and ominous, was a delight to soak in. The amazing attention to detail the author put into every single panel was awing. Never had I seen such a delicate showing of the art of graphic storytelling. I never knew pictures could hold more than just beauty. I never knew words spoken from fictional characters could hold more significance than simply the generic, "Oh, I'm a good guy, I'll try to beat this bad guy because of some obvious reason." Berserk was just more. And even now, after consuming much more media and being able to comprehend the good in things, now grasping the ability to discern the level of literary merit a story could hold, Berserk just stood out that much more. As the reader, Guts is your friend. Guts is the guy you feel for more than anything else in the world. You're drawn into his life. You are right next to him. You experience his trials and struggles vicariously, watching over him with warm eyes, hoping and hoping things work out. Struggling with his personal issues right there with him, cheering him on. You truly care about him, and his friends are yours as well. I talk to people who have watched only the anime, and typically, not always, they'll say the same thing. "Yeah dude, Berserk is hella depressing. Not for wimps bro, surf's up." Paraphrased, I guess. But that's only half true. It's not for the faint of heart, sure, but Berserk, while being a tale that tells a series of unfortunate events, is a story about triumph, about love, about hope, and about strength of heart. I don't personally think you can really experience the feeling of true hope without seeing a world where there seemingly is none at all, and then coming across and following a character who's still somehow surrounded by loads and loads of filth and terribleness, always moves like he has something to live for. Guts is synonymous with the idea of willpower. You follow him through every single tribulation. You see him grow. You see him fall. You see him live. The important message of the story aside, there are some cool ass fights and other amazing characters and relationships thrown in quite often as well. The antagonist of this work is perfect and the perfect foil for Guts. This is truly the complete package. Some may say Berserk is a tale of revenge, but even this is only true on the surface. His revenge only exists because of the care Guts has for the important things in his life. The anime is fantastic, but it just doesn't capture that true feeling that the manga gives. At least not until you read. There's just an amount of thought and detail that is lacking in every medium except for the manga. I'll have other content dissecting characters, analyzing the story, memes, and more, but unfortunately, now I can't go any further. You need to experience it all yourself. So please, I implore you, just try the manga if you haven't. There's no way you could ever regret it. If you have a weak stomach, perhaps build up a bit of a tolerance first, but otherwise, it's an absolute must read. And then, check out the 97 anime, and even the movies. A shout out to Silver Eyepatch Wolf for making a similar video. You go a bit further in depth, but you share many points that I wanted to get across. Go watch his if you haven't. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you'll come back once you've caught up to the manga.